We are outside the map, and when someone says Sardinia, the first image that comes to mind is almost always the same. White sandy beaches crowded with umbrellas, luxury yachts floating along the Costa Smeralda, and exclusive resorts that look like they were designed for a summer postcard. That's the Sardinia many know, but it's not the only one. Because the island is much more than that luxury showcase. Behind those repeated postcards lies a secret Sardinia, a land where time seems to have stopped and where it's still possible to hear the silence of nature. An island that doesn't let itself be tamed easily, fiercely guarding its treasures. Beaches that hide other beaches behind caves, dunes that resemble a desert next to the Mediterranean, solitary mountains dotted with prehistoric constructions, villages that speak forgotten languages, and Roman ruins hidden in the heart of the forest. This isn't the tourist Sardinia journey. It's a path for those seeking something different. For those who want to feel that there are still places in Europe that remain off the map. We're going to show you little-known corners, even for frequent travelers, hidden gems that tell stories of wild seas, lost cultures, and landscapes that seem from another planet. So forget the cliched postcards. Today, we venture into the most authentic, mysterious, and secret Sardinia. Secret coves and hidden beaches. Cala Domestica, the beach that hides another beach. Imagine this. After a path winding through arid mountains and a sea glimpsed in the distance, a perfect cove suddenly opens up before you. Golden sand, turquoise waters, and high cliffs that protect it like a natural amphitheater. It seems like the final destination, the place you came to. But in Cala Domestica, the most surprising part hasn't appeared yet. At one side of the beach, tucked among the rocks, a cave hides. From the outside, it looks like just a dark crack in the mountain, but if you dare to enter, the dimness leads you to a light-filled exit. And when you cross it, as if you had passed through a secret passage, a second beach appears. Smaller, wilder, more intimate, a hidden corner that can't be seen from outside, preserving the feeling of having discovered something forbidden. What's fascinating is that this natural setting coexists with traces of another era. On the cliffs, remnants of old mining constructions are still visible, because in the 19th century, this area was a hub for lead and zinc extraction. What is now a hidden paradise was, over 100 years ago, filled with workers, rails, and tunnels. This mix, clear sea, warm sand, and industrial ruins, gives Cala Domestica a unique personality, unlike any other beach in Sardinia. Walking here feels like living two adventures at once, that of an explorer discovering a secret cove, and that of a time traveler stumbling upon the ghosts of a forgotten past. It's a reminder that in Sardinia, natural beauty and history always go hand in hand, even if sometimes you have to walk through a cave to realize it. Cala Sicine, the reward after the effort. There are places that aren't given, they are earned. Cala Sicine is one of them. To get there, parking your car next to a beach bar won't be enough. You have two options. A long hike along trails that wind through forests and dry riverbeds, or a boat ride from nearby villages to the coast. Whichever route you choose, the effort is an essential part of the experience. The reward arrives all at once. After kilometers of trekking, the landscape suddenly opens up. Tall cliffs part like stone doors, revealing a wide beach covered in light-colored pebbles that sparkle in the sun. The sea in front of you is a crystal of green and blue hues, so clear it feels almost unreal. The first sensation is silence. No music, no vendors, no crowds. Just the murmur of the waves and the echo bouncing off the rocky walls. This calm isn't accidental. It's the result of the difficult access, which keeps Cala Sicine away from mass tourism. That's why being here feels different from any other beach. It's not a destination you buy with convenience, it's a place you earn with patience. And perhaps that's why, when you dip your feet into the icy water after the trek, the satisfaction is doubled. Not only have you discovered one of Sardinia's most beautiful beaches, but you've also conquered it. Chivu, the sound of the sea in solitude. On the southwest coast of Sardinia, between golden dunes and steep cliffs, lies Chivu, a beach that redefines what it means to be alone by the sea. There are no bars, umbrellas, or paved paths here, just sand, wind, and waves breaking in a steady rhythm. Every step on the shifting dunes produces a crunch, reminding you that you're walking on a living, ever-changing landscape. What makes Chivu special isn't just its beauty, but the sense of absolute isolation. Even many Sardinians rarely visit this beach, which keeps it in an almost pristine state. Walking for kilometers on golden sand without encountering anyone, facing an open ocean, feels like a luxury, a privilege that mass tourism has erased from most destinations. The contrast with the usual image of Sardinia is striking. There are no calm waters lined with sunbeds, just a space that invites you to get lost, to listen only to the sounds of nature, and to feel small before the vastness. Chivu isn't discovered in guides or popular lists. It's found by walking, exploring, and following intuition and curiosity. It's a place to feel rather than to show off. A site that rewards patience and the willingness to venture far from the well-known coast. At Chivu, solitude becomes an experience, and every wave breaking on the shore seems to whisper that true beauty is often found off the tourist radar. If you've been amazed so far by deserts by the sea or beaches hiding other beaches, imagine what's next. Villages that speak another language, forgotten temples in the forests, ghost mines by the sea. If you love these discoveries, subscribe to our channel, because what we show you won't appear in a conventional guide. And now, let's keep traveling. Spiaggia di Piscinas, a desert by the sea. In the heart of the Costa Verde lies a landscape so unexpected it seems lifted from a dream. Spiaggia di Piscinas. This isn't the typical Mediterranean postcard of pines and narrow coves. What greets you first are gigantic dunes, up to 60 meters high, stretching like a golden ocean that seems endless. You walk across the warm sand, hearing it crunch beneath your feet, and all around you is silence. No bars, no umbrellas, no background music, just the wind shaping the dunes and the sound of the waves breaking in the distance. And then, after crossing the small desert, the coastline appears. An immense open beach with blue waters that contrast sharply with the intense yellow of the sand. Piscinas is one of those places that disorients travelers. It makes you question where you are. For a moment, it feels like the Sahara, yet you're in the middle of the Mediterranean on one of Europe's most beautiful islands. Few spots on the continent offer such an extreme combination. An arid, almost African landscape right on the edge of crystal clear waters. Perhaps that's why Piscinas conveys a sense of absolute freedom. This is not a place to come for comfort. It's a place to feel small before the vastness. It's the perfect setting for those seeking an experience nothing like the typical postcard beaches. A place where the inhospitable becomes pure beauty. Natural landscapes that seem from another world. Valle della Luna, landscape from another planet. At the northern tip of Sardinia, between Santa Teresa di Gallura and Capo Testa, lies a corner that doesn't seem of this world, Valle della Luna. Its name is no coincidence. Here, the granite rocks, polished by thousands of years of wind and salt, take on rounded, whimsical shapes that resemble craters and lunar sculptures. Walking among them feels like getting lost in an extraterrestrial landscape. But Valle della Luna is not just a natural spectacle. It's also a place with soul. In the 1970s, this isolated corner became a refuge for hippie communities seeking to live close to nature, far from the cities. Many of them never fully left, and even today, in hidden caves and secluded corners, traces of that alternative life remain, with guitars, bonfires, and an air of absolute freedom. The experience here is not only visual, it's sensory and spiritual. The silence of the valley blends with the wind, and at sunset, the stones take on orange hues that seem to glow from within. There is something almost mystical in sitting on a rock and gazing at the sea on the horizon, surrounded by a landscape that feels from another planet. Valle della Luna is not a classic tourist destination. It's a place for those who seek to feel rather than just see. For those who travel not merely to collect photos, but to discover corners that invite pause, contemplation, and a reminder that nature, when left alone, creates its own work of art. Monte di Ala dei Sardi, Sardinia's hidden heart. When we think of Sardinia, beaches and turquoise coasts almost always come to mind. But the true heart of the island beats inland, in places like Monte di Ala dei Sardi. Far from the tourist strip, this mountainous massif is a land of solitude and landscapes that seem frozen in time. Here, there are no resorts or roadside restaurants, only trails winding through hills, oak forests, and valleys where life follows a different rhythm. What makes Monte di Ala dei Sardi unique are its nuragis, ancient stone towers standing alone, silent witnesses to civilizations that inhabited the island thousands of years ago. Many are hidden, camouflaged among the vegetation, and require a keen eye or the guidance of a local to be discovered. The villages scattered across the region preserve pastoral traditions intact. Here, days follow the cycle of the sun and the livestock, and modernity seems to arrive slowly. Walking through these villages, hearing the wind whistle across the mountains, and observing how the land is worked gives a deeper understanding of another Sardinia, invisible to most tourists, authentic and silent. Monte di Alla dei Sardi invites you to slow down, to feel history and nature in their purest form. It's not a destination that advertises itself, it's one you discover. And that feeling of intimacy, of inhabiting a nearly secret place, is what makes it one of the island's hidden gems. Villages that preserve unique traditions. Carloforte, an island within the island. Upon arriving in Carloforte, the first sensation is disorienting. Although you're still in Sardinia, it feels as if you've crossed into another world. This small island, located off the southwest coast, has a unique character that sets it apart from the rest of the island. Its narrow streets lined with low pastel-colored houses, its quiet squares, and the salty breeze create the feeling of entering an independent enclave with its own identity. What makes Carloforte truly special is its Tabarchino heritage. In the 18th century, Genoese families settled here from the island of Tabarca, off the coast of Tunisia, bringing with them their language, customs, and cuisine. The Tabarchino dialect is still heard among neighbors and in the markets, serving as a living reminder of a history that spans centuries and seas. And the cuisine, especially tuna, adds another layer to the island's identity. Dishes that combine fishing traditions with Genoese techniques and flavors, a fusion found nowhere else in Sardinia. Eating here is not just about food, it's savoring centuries of history and culture concentrated in every bite. Walking through Carloforte feels like stepping into an island within the island, sensing that every corner has its own story, every street its own rhythm, every flavor its own memory. It's not a destination like the postcard beaches of Sardinia. It's a place to experience, to hear, and to taste. A cultural secret waiting to be discovered by those seeking an authentic experience. Sant'Antioco, the isthmus that leads to another history. Sant'Antioco is much more than a coastal town. It's a journey through time. Connected to the main island of Sardinia by a narrow isthmus, this locality combines the feeling of being on an island with the accessibility of the mainland, creating a unique and surprising setting. History is palpable in every stone here. Founded by the Phoenicians and later occupied by the Carthaginians and Romans, Sant'Antioco preserves traces of all these eras, remnants of temples, hidden mosaics, and above all, early Christian catacombs that reveal a deep religious past often overlooked by travelers. Every street seems to tell a different layer of history, and every square invites you to pause and observe the marks of time. But Sant'Antioco is not just about archaeology. It's a place where everyday life flows calmly. The contrast between limited tourism and rich history makes it an unconventional destination, where you can explore at leisure and feel as though you've stepped back centuries into Mediterranean history. Visiting this town is understanding that the most authentic Sardinia is not always found on the most famous coast. It's in these corners where the memory of ancient civilizations blends with contemporary life, offering a complete experience: landscape, culture, and history. Sant'Antioco invites you to get lost in its narrow streets, to imagine the lives of those who inhabited these lands millennia ago, and to feel that, somewhere, time follows a different rhythm. Hidden ruins that tell another story of Sardinia. Tempio di Antas, the hidden sanctuary in the forest. Hidden among the green hills of Flumini Maggiore, the Tempio di Antas emerges like an unexpected discovery. A remote valley, surrounded by mountains and forests, sets the stage for these ruins that, from afar, appear to be mere scattered stones. But as you approach, the scale of the site becomes evident. Columns still standing proudly, remnants of walls whispering stories from centuries ago, and a mystical aura that envelops the entire valley. What makes Tempio di Antas special is its dual history. Before the Romans built their temple, this site was already a Carthaginian sanctuary, a sacred space where ancient deities were worshipped. Every stone you step on seems to carry centuries of rituals, offerings, and ceremonies that we can now only imagine. Later, the Romans erected their temple atop the foundations of that sanctuary, merging two cultures in one place and leaving behind an impressive archaeological legacy. Walking through these ruins is feeling the weight of time and the power of a place that, far from any main road, preserves its mystery. There are no crowds, no hurried guides, just the silence of the forest, the songs of birds, and the sense of entering a sacred space. Tempio di Antas is a reminder that history is not only studied, it is experienced. Its isolation makes it even more thrilling. Every step, every glance at the columns or at the valley opening behind them is a small revelation. It's a place that rewards the curiosity and patience of those willing to venture off the beaten path. Porto Flavia, the mountain that fed the world. On the southwest coast of Sardinia, facing the islet of Pan di Zucchero, lies an engineering marvel that seems to defy nature, Porto Flavia. But this is not a modern wonder. It was built in the early 20th century, carving directly into the rock to create a port capable of loading minerals from the mines onto ships without any need for land transport. The idea was as ingenious as it was daring. A tunnel through the mountain with a facade opening like a window over the sea and walkways allowing minerals to pass directly into the holds of the ships. The first time you approach Porto Flavia's facade, the impression is almost cinematic. The rock cut at an angle, the turquoise water crashing against the cliffs, and Pan di Zucchero, just a few meters away, create a scene where human engineering and natural beauty merge in perfect harmony. Every detail conveys precision and boldness. The rails, chutes, and loading channels seem to follow the logic of both sea and mountain, as if the landscape itself had been part of the design from the start. Walking through Porto Flavia is imagining the work of the miners, the danger of each day, and at the same time admiring how human creativity can transform nature without destroying it. This place is not only historical, it is visual and sensory. The wind sweeping through the tunnels, the sound of waves breaking below, and the panoramic view of the Mediterranean create a unique experience that few places in Europe can offer. Porto Flavia is not on conventional tourist maps, and perhaps that is its greatest strength. It is a reminder that true beauty is found where human daring meets wild nature, and that Sardinia's secrets await those willing to explore beyond the obvious. Ingertosu, the ghost mining town. On the southwest coast of Sardinia, between golden dunes and green hills, lies Ingertosu, a place that seems frozen in time. Walking through its forgotten streets, you encounter empty buildings, houses with broken windows, and faded signs. The roads that once led miners now disappear into the vegetation, and the ruins of workshops and mines recall an industrial past that left its mark, but also silence. The contrast is striking. The decay of architecture and remnants of machinery coexist with a natural landscape that still shines with intensity. Behind rusted facades and fallen walls, green hills and lonely beaches unfold, where the sun falls on dunes that seem unchanging. The feeling is one of absolute isolation, as if you've stepped into a post-apocalyptic scene, where humanity has retreated and nature slowly reclaims its space. Exploring Ingertosu evokes intense emotions. Every abandoned building, every trace of past human activity tells a story of labor, effort, and community that no longer exists. At the same time, the silence allows you to hear the island's voice in a different way. The wind through the trees, the songs of birds, and the distant waves become the protagonists of the experience. Ingertosu is not a conventional tourist destination. Its appeal lies in its raw authenticity, in the sensation of inhabiting a parallel world, and in the opportunity to reflect on history and the passage of time. For those seeking secret corners and unique emotions, this ghost town is a discovery that lingers in memory long after leaving its deserted streets. Sardinia is not just luxury beaches, exclusive resorts, and familiar postcards. The true essence of the island lies in its hidden corners, secret coves revealed after caves and hikes, dunes that resemble deserts by the sea, solitary mountains with hidden nuragis, villages where history and culture remain intact, and ruins that preserve the memory of forgotten civilizations. Traveling off the map is discovering this other Sardinia, the one that doesn't appear on typical tourist itineraries, the one that requires patience, curiosity, and a willingness to explore beyond the obvious. It is here that authenticity is found, where every step generates a unique emotion, and where every landscape tells a story that cannot be bought or superficially photographed. Imagine getting lost on secondary roads, among green hills, golden dunes, and lonely cliffs. Imagine walking through villages frozen in time, exploring abandoned temples and mines, or simply sitting in a secret cove, listening to the sea in silence. This is the Sardinia that remains untouched, hidden, waiting for those seeking something beyond the conventional postcard. In the end, what remains are not just images, but experiences that connect with the island's essence. Sardinia keeps its secrets for those who dare to go off the map and immerse themselves in its wild nature, deep history, and hidden gems. And that feeling of discovery, of standing before places few have seen, is what makes a journey truly unforgettable.